Hey, what's up, my friend? Are you a small business owner that loves God, family, country, and capitalism? If so, you're in the right place. Welcome to the War Plan Briefing. My name is Joshua Latimer. I'm so excited you're here. This is part 3 of a little tiny miniature series called Brain Chains. We could make a 100-part series called Brain Chains because we all have weird things in our head, thoughts, beliefs, ideas, sometimes intrusive thoughts that make it harder for us to just succeed. Or maybe we're succeeding, but we're miserable while we're succeeding. There's some brain chains in there. There's worms in our head. There's weird, just intrusive things, false beliefs, childhood, subconscious programming. There's all this stuff happening to us in our brain that make life harder. And so here's one of them. We're going to talk about the difference between comrades, constituents, and confidants, why it matters to you, and why it affects your bank account, okay? Here's the thing. So in part 1 of the brain chain thing, we talked about the history and mystery of time, and we talked about time. Super interesting. It's kind of a brain bender. Go back and watch that. And then part 2, we talked about the curious topic of money and how, money and currency are not the same thing. We talked about how wealthy people refer to money as capital. You ever hear poor people walking around being like, oh, I need to get some more capital? No, that's not a thing, right? And the implications of using that word are so interesting and profound. It's something to think about. But right now we're going to talk about relationships. I often say that there's 3 things all of us need to be successful at anything, just to win life, basically, right? Number 1, we need the right mindsets. And mindsets is this weird overused term, but it's the way we think about stuff. It's the way we view stuff. It's the framing that our eyes view the world through. Have you ever met someone that can't even see opportunity? Like it's invisible to them. You could present them an opportunity on a silver platter and it's invisible to them. It's because they have a bad frame, and there's maybe abuse or trauma or a series of bad choices that leads them to not being able to see the obvious. That's true for you too right now. And for me, there's blind spots that we have. So if there's 3 things we need to be successful, it's mindsets, and then skill sets, and then network. And really, the video right now is about network. It's about your people, the people that you give permission to speak into your life. You realize how big of a deal it is for you to give the keys to your heart and to your brain to friends and family and Uncle Larry. When you share your dreams with people, they don't always respond very positively, right? Is it just me? I'm just saying. The Bible says don't cast your pearls before swine. What does that mean? It means protect things that are precious to you from people who are going to trample all over it, right? If you're an entrepreneur, a lot of people don't understand you, because I got news for you. You're weird. You're a weirdo. Like if this video is interesting to you at all, you're definitionally weird. You're different. You're a divergent from the pack. You don't have this like linear sheep brain that most of society has. You're an entrepreneur. You're a problem solver, and a movement maker, and a job creator, and a world changer. You're all these things. So here's the thing. You got to be careful with who you let speak into your life. And all of us have different types of relationships. Look, sometimes I refer to this as left-hand relationships and right-hand relationships. And there's people that are normies or not entrepreneurs that we need to have relationships with, of course, right? I'm not telling you to just cut off your family or something. We love them. They just don't understand you. So you want to filter the parts of your life that you share with them and the parts of your life that you share with the other relationships. And the first type of relationship that we have are called comrades. And my buddy Josh Fierstein, my business partner Josh Fierstein, he's the one that taught this to me. And I don't know where he heard this, but I know it's out there. I don't know if it's from a book, but this idea of comrades is profound, okay? People that are comrades are people that are linked together because of a shared hatred of something, okay? So if you are like pro-vaccine and you're all in, ready to argue with everybody on the internet, okay? You want everybody to get the pokey, jab, okay? You're like, everyone needs a pokey. You are part of a culture, a tribe of people that think that way, and you are aligned potentially with a bunch of comrades, meaning you hate people that don't get the vaccine, or you hate the idea of someone that doesn't get the vaccine. Now, it doesn't just stop there. I'm not just picking on you. If you are a Trump supporter, you might hate Antifa. You might hate the super left-wing ideologies in this country. And so what happens is you align yourself with sort of like-minded people, but really it's more of a like-minded something that you're against. right? And there's tons of examples of this. So these relationships are like the bottom of the rung of a type of relationship to have. They can serve a purpose, don't get me wrong, but they're the bottom of the rung. The one above that is called constituents. Constituents are the people that you're linked to and connected to because of a shared love of something. Now, in the vaccine example, I don't think people just like love that. They're like, I just love Big Pharma so much. It's my passion. It's like, no, they're comrades, okay? But a constituent would be someone that also loves golf as much as you do. And so you go to the golf course and you talk about golf and you recap the golf PGA Tour thing and you compare notes on all the weird technology that's happening with golf and you nerd out together with those people about that thing. And so the shared common interest that you have with a constituent is something that you both love. It could be God. You know, Christians, a Christian body is a bunch of constituents for the most part, right? There's that's a whole rabbit hole. But my point is, hey, we love God. We love family. We believe in faith. We believe in the future. We believe in the glass being half empty or half full, not half empty. You know, there's all these things that you can build constituent relationships with. But here's the one that's missing for a lot of people is confidants. Confidants. These are rare, okay? You're not going to have 15 of these relationships. A lot of you probably have none, truly. Maybe your spouse is your only confidant. And even in marriages, the relationship is sometimes not open enough to even get to where it's a confidant. Here's the definition of a confidant. A confidant is in relationship with you because they love you. They're not there to take from you. They're not there to use you and abuse you. They're not there to vacuum all the value out of your brain and leave you on the side of the road, right? You know, I get messages from people, hey, Josh, can I pick your brain? It's like, well, maybe, like, I'm not against that, but like, I feel like a piece of paper towel sometimes, you know, they'll just drill me, pop, 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 and extract and take, and then they're gone. So that's not a confidant relationship. A confidant is someone that speaks life into you while you're pursuing your purpose. It's someone that claps and cheers for you when you win. It's someone that's got your back. Whether you mess up and are incredibly flawed and make a bad decision, or you win the lottery for $253 million, they are happy for you genuinely, not because they're hoping that you buy them a Lamborghini. Although, if you have someone in your life that's a confidant, you should probably buy them the Lamborghini if you win $252 million. I'm just saying, just do it. But they wouldn't expect that from you because that's not why they're here. They're not here to take from you or use you. There's not like an ulterior motive, which you can see why these relationships are so rare. So when you see the Bible says, don't cast your pearls before swine, you know, that makes sense. But then we have these other people that are either constituents or comrades. Who can you really dream with? You got to be careful who you share your dreams with because you don't want someone to get jealous or try to one-up you. You know, you can tell when people have an ulterior motive every time you cast a vision of like, I think I'm going to do this and this and this. Instead of them saying, dude, that's sick. That's amazing. Like, what about this? What about that? Oh, I see it. You can do this. Instead of that, they're trying to act even cooler so that they get the last word, or they're trying to one-up you. And it's this competitive relationship. That's not a confidant. And look, if you can get one or two people like this in your life, it can change so much. It's amazing. Jesus Christ was God, and he only had 12 people in his inner circle, okay? So if you could get one or two, I think you'd be doing pretty stinking good, right? So and if you don't have someone like this, here's my suggestion to you. Be this for someone else. Proactively be this for someone else. Instead of sitting around wondering when someone's going to come be this for you, go be it to someone else right now. Cheer for them, clap for them, have no agenda or motive. It'll go well for you. And here's the thing with comrades, constituents, and confidants as a success principle is that we want to find people who are one or two chapters ahead of us, who have our best interest in mind. You could call them a Sherpa, you could call them, you know, your friend, whatever, but someone that can kind of help you walk up Mount Everest and not get eaten by the Yeti. Right? Or at least if you get eaten, he just bites your finger off and you still survive or something. That's a weird example. Why did I say that? Doesn't matter. Here's the quote in closing, okay? Be very cautious of people who don't clap and cheer when you win. I'll say it again for the people in the back. Be very cautious of people who don't clap and cheer when you win. You are worthy of celebrating. You are worth celebrating and cheering on. Like, I want you to win. Some of the best people are the quietest and their business are the tiniest. And I need you to 10x it so that you have more influence and more resources to be who you are. So if you need to do snippy on some of your relationships, go do that. I release you, go do it. And if you haven't seen part 1 and part 2 of Brain Chains, check those out. This is kind of part 3. I hope this helps you. I'm trying to help you reframe the way you think of stuff, because even if you have a tiny business in a tiny market, the opportunity is so big for you. You don't even realize it. Did you know there's 150,000 millionaires just in San Francisco? Did you know that? If you're doing 800 grand or $1 million in your little business, you could be doing 8 or 10. You could do so much more. And it's not about the endless pursuit of more, but it is about maximizing who you could be, who you could become, right? Because if you're good and ethical and you love your family and you love the Lord and you love your employees and all these things, all you're going to do is bless them 10 times more. And we need that. We need that for you. And that's it. I hope you got value out of this. If you consider liking and subscribing, hit the subscribe button, share it with a friend, share it with a neighbor, share it with your nephew, Larry. I don't know. Maybe he needs to move out of the basement and get motivated. Maybe this will help. Maybe it won't. I don't know. And until next time, see you in the next video.